Welcome to the Deep Focused Podcast.
What's
As
up?
always, I'm your co-host Varun, and with me, my buddy, my
That's
little
me.
dude,
That's
single ready to mingle, the Timbit himself,
the
fresh out of
Timbit.
the oven, fresh out of the oven. Murad, what is happening, man?
Bro, you said Timbit?
Yeah, what Timbit, bro?
That's so sweet. Although if you're trying to pitch the fact that I'm single, don't say little man. I am a grown man. So
And
I'm
I'm pretty
single.
sure Timbits is available in the US, but they're little donut circles, I guess you
They're
want to call it.
not, but they're called donut holes in the States
There you go.
because they're just weird like that. But
They're
hey,
not
man.
weird. Hey man, we have a lot of US followers. They are dope.
No, but like weird in
Send
a good
all the
way, you
hate.
know?
Send all the hate to Murad guys if you want to, but I
I'm
got you
used to
guys.
it. You'll be like the kids in elementary school.
On this week's episode, we're going to be talking about our instant reactions to the Academy nominations. We're not going to deep dive into really anything in particular. Just quick reactions to some of the categories. Is there any snubs potentially? What we think, and then we'll dive a little further from there. But
That is
first,
exactly what we'll be doing. But first, Five God on the beat.
Five God killing it again, man. I love that beat. I'm hooked to it. I'm addicted. I love it. It's amazing.
One of the best producers I know personally. Fantastic dude. And he's so zen all the time. And he's a brilliant mind. And if you guys definitely want to make some cool music and music that'll be filled with a lot of passion, Five God is your man to go to. For sure. No questions about it.
That's awesome, man.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned earlier on this week's episode, it's a quick reaction to everything we talked about from the last week's Academy Awards. We posted the full nominations on our Instagram page at the Deep Focus Pod. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Deep Focus Pod. And as always, we love your reactions, your comments, your feedback to our email, deepfocuspod@gmail.com. We will respond to all emails. So any emails is perfect. Unless you're my wife who will tell me her feedback to my face right away, which it's amazing. Rupi, her YouTube page, Rupi Minhas. We'll drop the link below as always. She has her own makeup tutorial page. It's freaking amazing. She's on Instagram too. She always supports me, and she always watches our podcasts and videos as soon as it goes up. And she was definitely not holding back from our last episode.
Oh no.
Uh, not but the content, not what we talked about, but this my behavior. So for anyone who knows me off screen or off radio, I tend not to hold any words back when it comes to anything, especially when it comes to profanity and words that may not be appropriate for certain places, general public, especially not where I work. So
I know exactly where this is going.
clearly, clearly,
Oh no.
I wasn't sure how to say certain words. If I could say certain words on the last podcast, so I promised to not give a shit anymore, and just
There it is. There's the
and just
man that
just
that
be more me. This is the
yeah.
podcast by the people for the people. I don't know anyone who says steaming pile of c word because I found out that people could think that could be really bad. What I really meant was crap. Right? Like, come on, bro.
Oh, that's what you meant?
Yeah, man. That's bad.
Oh,
And
well, I
people,
was trying to figure it out.
yeah, it took me like 2 minutes to tell you, hey, feces. So
Yeah,
that was
but
awkward.
when someone says like pile of, I don't think crap, because you can say that on TV. So I was
It
thinking
is
of
what
like
it is. What
naming
it is.
words. Yeah, no, but it is what it is. we're just not gonna give a shit anymore.
Well,
And
we give a shit, but like we want
oh
to give
yeah,
we want to give quality content. We still want to do our best, and we'll continue to learn on what we can and cannot say.
we're not gonna be obnoxious about it though. I
Yeah,
think that's, we're not
we
gonna be just
yeah,
outwardly profane.
but we're also not the type of people who will use these words to talk down to people.
Yes.
We will not use it towards people in a hateful way. It's not
Yes.
meant for hate. It's not meant for discrimination. We love everyone, and we want everyone to enjoy movies, films, everything. That's why I'm excited to talk about this Academy Awards because my man, diversity, like holy crap,
Hey,
this
HFTA,
is
that's how you do it.
yeah, learn something, man.
Yeah.
Like it's you allowed to have someone that's not white be
Win an award,
nominated.
dude.
That is insane, and
I know.
that's obviously I think it's fair. I can say with confidence that
Yeah.
both our first quick reaction is like, bravo. Whether you agree with the nominations or not,
Hmm.
there's always someone every year like, oh, this person got snubbed. I
Yeah.
feel like there was a lot less of that this year.
Yeah.
When it comes to people like feeling like some people got left out and things like
Yeah.
that, and I, it has a lot to do with the consumers, us not being able to watch all these movies because we haven't been able to go to the theaters. And I don't know how many people are actually watching these movies at home, like they're renting on VOD,
Right.
um, like paying the $24.99 or $34.99, whatever the price may be to rent these movies. That could be part of it. Why there's not a lot of like debate or argument about this, but
Hmm.
this is amazing. This is definitely a huge step forward, and I just could hope it continues to create progress
Hmm.
in Hollywood
Absolutely.
that it desperately needs,
Yeah.
and it's fantastic.
Right.
And like Judas and Black Messiah, like whether again
Brilliant.
like a lot of I want to say mixed reviews. I know a lot of people weren't like super excited about this movie, but love Daniel. I love Daniel. I love the actors behind it. I love the directors. Like it's. I know you watched it. I haven't watched it yet. Like it's
Hmm.
definitely on my list. So what's your like? What are your thoughts about it so far?
The entire predict the just the nominations in and of itself, I like it, man. It's
Yeah,
I think this year, because of all of the changes that were happening, and especially to the entertainment industry more than any other industry that I'm personally aware of,
yeah,
I think these were, I'm gonna say safe, but not safe in a bad way. It was safe in a good way.
yeah,
It's because they weren't ruffling any feathers by leaving people out like Riz Ahmed, who definitely should be in the best lead actor category, by also including Stephen Yuen, right?
yeah.
Or Stephen Yuen. I'm not sure how to say that name. I'm sure I butchered it, but both
He's sorry.
those
He's sorry.
candidates. Sorry, yes, we're sorry. I'm sorry. But I like both of those people deserve to be on there. So does Anthony Hopkins. So does Gary Oldman. But they didn't ruffle any feathers by purposely leaving them out because of a unconscious or conscious bias, right?
Yeah.
So I was excited for these nominations. There was nothing that really stood out to me in terms of, oh, I can't believe they've done this, or I can't believe they didn't do that. I think this was a good, safe bet, you know, one that had all the nominees that were deserving of it, and it was about time that they were nominated for something like this. As to who's gonna win, I don't know. It's actually very, very tough. I've seen of all of the best picture nominations, I've seen maybe, oh no, not maybe, I've seen around four of them. And so I'm very excited to continue and watch the rest of them. But with movies being like 2 3 hours long, especially the ones that go for awards like this, they tend to be a little bit longer. So you got to give me some time. But I was excited for this, and I have no ill will towards any of them.
So I know you watched Judas and the Black Messiah. I haven't
Yeah.
watched it yet, but
Mhm.
what stood out to me when it comes to the actual nominations itself is the best supporting actor role.
Mhm.
Both Daniel Kaluuya
Yeah,
and Lanky Stanfield are
yeah,
nominated for best supporting
yeah.
actor. I had read some things about why this was the case, but I want to hear your thoughts first as someone who's actually seen the movie.
I don't. Okay, so here's what I think about it. So if we're looking at in terms of billing and in terms of the name itself, the story revolves around two characters, Judas and the Black Messiah. It's a biblical name for a story that is a true story, and it's panned out and you can read all about it. But I don't think they were nominated for best lead because they were so intertwined in their story, and that's why I think, at least me, being someone that's seen the movie, I'm not, because I didn't know that there were articles written about this, but that's why I think the only reason I think they're together is because, like I said before, their stories are so intertwined, and one person's actions directly leads to the other, and it's eventually the betrayal of Judas that leads to the downfall of the Black Messiah. Right. So that's why I think they're both nominated for best, because I saw that and I was confused, but that was my explanation. That's how I could make sense of it in my head. But what did you read?
So part of it seems like, and again, there's no proof or evidence, just more of a theory than anything else. Both Chadwick Boseman being nominated for Best Actor, that just seems like a lock
Yeah,
from what I'm reading
definitely.
for his amazing apparent amazing performance in Morani, right? Like again, I haven't seen that man.
Yes.
I know.
Oh
So like, but I
man.
heard great things about it.
Yeah.
Which it will be hard to top off what he did in the Fly Buds and like the movies I've seen this year. But that's part of the reason what I heard
Right.
and read. Like again, just theorized on what that could be. So that could be it. Because when these movies submit like their candidacies for nominations, like they do
Hmm.
themselves, like it's not like the Academy Awards picked them to be in that role. Like that's something they
Right.
applied for, and but they got it. It got approved. So that's interesting. Obviously, I'm upset that Borat 2 didn't get nominated for Best Picture. That's but it goes against what like it's a genuine.
Hmm.
I would say it's snub because I've been hearing great things about a lot of these movies right now,
Right.
and it goes against the whole being safe.
Right.
And like it got some recognition. Like I'm blanking on the actress name right now, but she is up for an
Maria
award.
Bakalova.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's up for an award for that her performance in that movie, and she was wonderful in that movie. She's
Hmm.
fantastic, and she really stole it. And I think even times you could see, and she surprised everyone in that movie,
Right.
like her range and how far she can go with that. Like
Hmm.
Sasha got is not going without being awarded or something. Like he's been nominated for his performance in Chicago of the trial. No,
Charlotte Chicago 7. Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Again, I do apologize for everyone. I'll watch all these movies before the Academy Awards comes out. But yeah, so it's very interesting. Like what's come out so far. I know I don't have a lot of insight to put in right now, just because of
Hmm.
what the amount of movies I haven't watched for this. I don't know how
Hmm.
long it'll take me to watch these movies because I'll probably watch these Zack Snyder Justice League for the 100th time again, because it was fantastic. It's too late to put Zack Snyder for Best Director. Probably
Sorry.
next. Zack
Yeah.
Snyder for Best Director, probably next year, right?
Sure.
No, Ben Affleck for Best Actor.
For Batman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I will watch it. I will watch it. It's 4 hours.
yeah.
Yeah,
4 hours of glory.
I know. I know. I'm excited because watching the original Justice League and being a fan of DC, I was like, that kind of sucked. So I'm really excited to see how
Yeah,
Zack Snyder's true vision comes to life in this.
yeah.
But Varud, I do want to just let you know, if you want to watch something that's easier to digest in
Mhm.
terms of movies to watch on the nominations list. Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's an hour and a half.
Okay.
and it's easy to watch, and that's not a bad thing because
No, that's
for a
absolutely.
while, what put me off from what put me off from a lot of or Oscar nominations was the movies. The subjects were so intense,
Yeah.
and I wasn't into movies at that time, like like as a kid. So watching the ceremonies, and I would watch these like the previews of like why they're nominated,
Yeah.
and they seemed like they were so intense. This looked like a movie that told a story. It told it really well, and it was palatable to watch. And it's all done in the sense that it's like a bottle cap movie. Like it's all done on one set, multiple rooms on one set. But the I can't say enough good things about Chadwick, the late great Chadwick Boseman's performance in this movie. He was fantastic in The Five Bloods, but once you see this movie, you'll understand why he is such a sure pick
Yeah.
for that award.
I know, Murad, that you have a couple quick predictions when it comes to some of the awards.
Yes.
Let's talk about that after the break.
Okay, fine.
All right. Welcome back, guys. We are back to talk about more of our reactions to the Academy Award nominations.
Hmm.
So, Anurad, you had a couple of things you want to talk about. I'm not going to go through all the awards. Let's go through a couple of my favorite awards. I'm going to be a
Sure.
little selfish here, just because I know you've seen everything and you won't shut up about talk about all these categories. And we don't want to spoil our future podcast we'll announce later on tonight.
Right.
But first, my favorite, shockingly, my favorite award is the best director. So I already told you off screen that I was extremely upset with the whole Spike Lee snub for the
Yep.
Five Blood. Take it away.
Like you, I am also in the same boat.
Mhm.
I have recently, and by recently I mean just last night, watched The Five Bloods. For some reason, I didn't know that it was on Netflix. So I saw it and I watched it. I think Varuni pointed that out to me. So I watched it, and then I watched, more than my fair share of the movies that are on the best directors list. I Based off the nominations that are here, I think it's going to be between three. But if I was to pick who should
You
win
have to pick
Best
one, man.
Director,
Don't cheap out. You got to
fine,
pick one.
fine, 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 fine. If anything, I think it would be David Fincher for Mank, and the
Why is
reason
that?
why is because the depth of the story that he had to tell and how he made the movie itself look like the movie that it was based on, because it's of course based off Citizen Kane, and Citizen Kane tells a story by going back and forth. It's not lateral, right?
Mhm.
It's you see a point and then it goes back in time. And David Fincher took that and made Mank, which tells you the story about how they made that movie in the same style of Citizen Kane. I think that was a huge task to take on because it is such a rich story, and it's also a very hard story to tell. And so that's why I think David Fincher will win Best Director for Mank. Plus, there's a lot of stylistic choices that I like because I am a sucker for black and white movies. And so that's what I think David Fincher, Mank. If Spike Lee for The Five Bloods was on there, then it would hands down go to him. And I'm also very upset that he's not there. And so for me, Mank, David Fincher, Varun, as soon as you watch uh the movies, I would love to hear what you think about it. But you said you like Best Director, which is fantastic. It's one of the biggest categories for me, especially for because that's the field I want to go into. But the one and only Best Picture category is the one I look forward to the most. Right? For this one, I would choose Minari. The reason why is because it's not a thrilling movie by any means. It's not a movie that will like draw you in and like you're all like obsessed with the story, but it's a very intimate and delicate story that it tells, and it tells it in a really soft way. And what I mean by that is it's a story about a family struggles of like moving to a new area and going through the hardships that that people often go through. And I face them, through, and I know you face them as well. And so it tells the intimate conflicts that the people go through in a way that suits it. So that's why I think Minari will win Best Picture, and I think there's a huge inspiration that Lee Isaac Chung, the director of Minari, took from Bong Joon Ho, who directed Parasite, who won Best Picture last year. So David Fincher, Mank for Best Director, and Best Picture Minari, directed by, of course, Lee Isaac Chung.
Fantastic.
Those are my
I
predictions.
I obviously cannot dispute any of them because I haven't seen anything.
I can't wait to be proven
So,
wrong.
uh,
Academy, don't let me
I
down.
so the reason I asked Murad to not give any more details than that,
Mm.
because there is a podcast that we will be working on. It'll be another Friday podcast that's right before the Academy Awards, which airs on the 25th of April. I believe it's gonna be airing on ABC. So, but prior to that, we will go through like a massive deep dive on the all major categories
Yeah.
and what we think might happen, what we think, like who might get robbed, who think will win, potential gambling odds. We don't know. We'll see. That's just, I like looking at odds, who I am. But very excited to dive deep into that. I also, we want to apologize for taking a week to bring this reaction video out when it comes to Academy nominations. As we're learning more about this industry and not the industry of film, but just the industry of like podcast and creating content.
Media,
It, yeah,
yeah.
so we want to continue to improve on that, and we realize now creating a podcast maybe sooner to the nominations would have been more ideal, but we
Yeah.
do appreciate everyone's tuning in still. So I actually want to throw a question out to everybody, which we'll also post on our Instagram page at
Mm-hmm.
the Deep Focus Pod, our Twitter page of the same name at the Deep Focus Pod, and you could email us too at the Deep Focus Podcast at gmail.com. The I'm kind of curious when it comes to quick reactions like this, quick reviews like this. Where would you guys like to find us? I know Murad mentioned YouTube, like a live stream on YouTube. I talk about Instagram. It's also Twitter. We could somehow do all the above. I don't know. We could try fight. We could try to figure it out, but we want to find a way to make it easy for you guys to find our content, especially for
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very excited for the things we have planned for the Academy Awards, which is still ways away, and we're excited to talk about more content until then. With that, anything to add, Murad?
Treat each other with kindness, treat each other with love. I know there's a lot of negativity out there in the world right now. And I know this is getting quite sappy quite fast, but just reach out to the people that you love and tell them you love them, and give someone a hand if they need it. And also make sure that if you do know people that are going to be traveling home alone, make sure that you do offer the hand and say, "Hey, is it okay if I walk you home?" Of course, that's a friend. And just be mindful of each other's space, and just treat each other with kindness and love, and don't ever forget that.
I don't think I can think of a better way than the podcast tonight. Everyone, until next time,
Love you.
peace.
Peace.